Hello everyone. Hi. So people are just going to be coming in. Hi Devin, or I hope I pronounced that right. Devon, I guess that could be pronounced a lot of ways. I'm sure you get that a lot. I'm well. Hi Morgan. Hi Mrs. Marvelous. Love seeing familiar faces. I'm great. I'm excited for tonight. I got big energy coming in on my end. Today's been a little intense physically, so I'm not sure if everybody's feeling that or not, because I feel it very physically for me. Hey Jamie. Hi Colleen. Rennie. Hi Princess Playgirl. Hi everyone. Hi from Michigan. Hello Michigan. See, it's me, Bill. Hi. I got it right. All right, Devin. Cool. Oof. Hi. Yeah, how you guys feeling? Today is the hardest day of my life. Oh no. Well, hopefully today, if you stick around in this live, maybe we can help with that. So we're gonna clear some energy and do some energy work, and hopefully teach some skills that can assist you in doing it yourself as well. So that's the idea of these lives, is to talk about tips and tricks. Woo-wee! That was interesting. Poof. Tips and tricks that come through. Excuse me, I don't know what came in. Something just came in for me. 1 second. Okay, they're just connecting to the back of my throat chakra. Okay, I felt that. Holy cow. Woo-wee, hot. Cooking. Okay. Forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, we'll talk about tips and techniques, and that's what we like to talk about. It's not your fault. I'm really sensitive. Oh, awesome, Amanda. I can't wait to hear. What you had a major surgery today and a huge surprise of good news. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Hi Elizabeth. Mumawa, hi. Tuua Ink owner. Hello. Hi Claire. Hey Michael, what's up? I love seeing you here, brother. How's everybody doing? Just letting everybody come in. Hi Ramos. The Fish. Oh, man, I'm so bad about reading usernames. I'm sorry, guys. So what is this stuff at the top? Okay, there was a TikTok sent something to the universe or something or other. I don't know what that's about. There's a lot of new things in these lives that, man, I don't know anything about these lives. People play like games and stuff against each other. I don't understand what that's about. And like gift battles, and I guess there's all sorts of different ways people use TikTok, huh? It's awesome. So glad you caught me. Cool. Got the page last week. It's 3:30 a.m. in the UK. Well, we're glad to have you here. We'll be on for like an hour and a half or so. I don't know if you'll make it the whole time, but gosh, I keep saying this. I keep saying I'm going to post the lives on YouTube afterwards. I just keep forgetting. So if you guys want to help remind me afterwards, because I get a little cooked after the sessions. So I just go straight to eating food and grounding and getting back in my body a little bit. So if I forget again, please remind me, because it can be a really nice resource, especially if you don't have anything you're doing like that day. Like I like to watch long replays of live streams when I'm at like work and stuff, sitting at my desk all day. I'm just in the background. So okay, Jessica, he says, still struggling to release fear and drop into my heart center. We talked about needing a little help. Yeah. So that's a great thing to work on in the live, actually, is to open our hearts. It's really important. I often leave out the idea of opening our hearts. I'm not really sure why, but I haven't been guided to share that part yet. I don't know if it's just because the way that the techniques that I'm trying to get across right now are really, really simple, and they're based on just the electromagnetic fields of the body. Just so people can experience it directly and feel it immediately, because anybody can do the healing just by feeling and relaxing and just feeling and listening to the energy. But if you really, really want to boost it, feeling into your heart and opening your heart, learning how to open your heart and having your awareness in your heart space at the same time as you're feeling that, can boost it dramatically. Like that's really the way to get it, is have your heart open and then feel that stuff. So the idea of being super relaxed and not trying to change the pain that you're feeling, that's the idea of replacing that energy with love, because you're listening. Full acceptance is unconditional love. You're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to remove it. You're not trying to heal it. You're trying to listen to it and let it communicate through the feeling, and then it is resolved. So it's a form of love, but if you do that at the same time as like welling up that feeling in your heart, it can enhance the healing immensely. Hello everyone. What do I eat? All sorts of stuff. My diet's actually changing quite a bit right now. Just because my body's changing, my energy is changing. So I eat intuitively and I don't eat as good as I should, or as good as I used to. So not that I don't eat good. I used to be really, really anal about the foods I ate and making sure it was all super, organic, and just the energies were really good and it was really good for me. But it just wasn't working out for me. I wasn't eating enough, and I was just not really doing that well. And then my guides, told me that we need to be eating meat again. So we started eating meat again, and that helped quite a bit. But they also suggest things like greasy foods for me and stuff. But I'm not like everybody, so I'm clearly not suggesting that, or I'm not going to suggest that to everybody. But the reason why they suggest it for me and why it's important for me, or it has been, it's not anymore. So I was going through a certain phase where I was very ungrounded in my body. Like it's really hard for my energy to stay in my body, and it still is. So for me, things like greasy foods and other things that weigh a normal person down is really helpful for me, especially after doing a lot of energy work, because it's really easy for me to not be in my body. But yeah, moderation is really important. And it's about, and the important thing is that we're all so different. Like, so even talking about one idea of a diet, and like it doesn't work for everybody. No two diets are going to be the same. They shouldn't be the same. We're all so different. We're all so different in what we need. I mean, even just this idea that our cells function on different salts based on our zodiac signs. So like there's 12 cell salts that our cells need to function optimally, essentially, and any one of us are going to be deficient in at least 4 of those 12 salts, and so even that alone, we're going to be needing different nutrients. But that's just one example. But we all have different coding, especially as we're all coming online and our DNA is getting activated more. We're all very different, and it depends on what aspects of yourself you're integrating too. So with me, I was needing to eat those really dense foods and those grounding foods, and especially meat, like red meat. Why? Because I was integrating my dark. So I was doing a ton of shadow work, and I was really needing to be like those aspects, that DNA of those aspects was really becoming active, and they contain certain codes that was relevant for them. Like certain species and certain beings, that's what they do. They eat different things. So it's about like integrating that and trying to figure out what works for my body and what works for my code in this now. In this now, I'm changing again. So I'm going back to eating more light again, and it's helping a lot. So, but I still do ground in my body. Hey Shonda, hello. And it's really important too. So I don't just eat junk. I know it may sound like that, but I program it as well. So I'm not just eating it. Like I'm always supplementing myself with really good supplement stuff too. So even just like I'm constantly eating like super greens and super foods in powdered forms throughout the day, and different plant proteins and all sorts of stuff. But it's just on those like when I do eat the foods, it will be meat. Like usually on Friday nights, I will eat a big fat steak, just because I know I'm usually doing a live, or I've had a long week, and I'll usually be doing a lot of energy work during the weekend, so it's really good for me to get down in my body. That's just an example. Somebody asked about food, I just went off on a rant, so I apologize. How's everybody doing? Ah, yeah, man, the vaccine stuff. I'm glad that you enjoyed the video, but yeah, that's a tough topic for me to talk about. It's just because it's such a divisive topic, and that's, you can't get around it because people are not going to agree with you, and that's hard because I agree with everybody. So it's like, you don't validate my opinion, but I validate yours. So it just is always kind of like a losing battle, but it's all right. It's all about sharing our own perspectives. It's really important. Hey, Gypsy, I'm up in Mount Vernon, or near Mount Vernon. I don't know. In Washington State. It's tearing people apart, and that's honestly that is the main thing I see with the vaccine stuff, is that it's meant to create division and social anxiety and social pressures, because we need to advance collectively, and we do that unfortunately through processing karma and through processing collective beliefs and all that stuff. So that's really what it's about. It's like a lesson in trusting our intuition. And are we going to fight our brothers and sisters over something that they choose to do or not to do? That's the hard part for me, is that some people just, it becomes a thing where people want you to do a certain thing a certain way because they're fearful of other people. Like everybody means well, and that's the hardest part, is that everybody is trying to do the best thing, and that's what breaks my heart in the whole situation. Everybody wants what's best. Not everybody understands reality like a lot of us more conscious beings do, and that we each have our own reality. So the people that believe one way and the people who believe complete opposite, they're both valid. Both truths are true for them. It's not this or that, it's this and that. And if we realize that, we could co-create a better reality for all of us together. It's a tough topic. Do you know why we experience a glitch in the matrix? It depends on what it is, but yeah, it's usually it's a glitch in your own reality. It's a glitch in your perspective of what is normal, I guess. It depends on the exact example, I would say. Everybody's different but amazing. Hey Sue, how's your back? Yes, the division is heartbreaking. So I'm gonna give another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll probably do a little bit of energy work just to set up the space and bring in whatever energies we want just to sit in the space. So I might actually at some point work on myself and show you how I work on myself and what that looks like, and I'll probably walk through it if I decide to do that. Just because I have a lot of pain right now in the back of my solar plexus, it's bothering me. It's just really tense, and so that might be good. And that kept coming to me throughout the day. And like, should I heal it now or should I wait for the live? And that kept I get a wishy-washy. And then about an hour ago, I just cleared it real quick and it's back. So I think that means that I'm supposed to work on it. It's really tight. But yeah. Will I be at the drumming circle on Sunday? Gosh, I don't know. I want to be. I really do want to be. I have a hard time with drumming circles, unfortunately. I'm very sensitive to sound, very, very sensitive to sound. And sometimes those circles are really hard on me just because everybody's different and everybody's, there's different stuff going on. There's a lot of energies. There's just so many energies that it is. But I did go to one and I did okay. As long as I'm like channeling the whole time, I'm usually okay. So it depends on how I feel. I'll be chilling at the store all day though. So I will be available to chat and to do stuff. I'm not sure what time I'm going to come in. I don't have a scheduled session until the very end of the day. But if you want to come by and say hi, it'd be great. I'd love to see you. If you're going to show, I might show then. Are you going to go there, Shonda? Man, these things, So these whole lights, man, I don't know how people handle this stuff. Like even these lights, these things drive me nuts, and I have to put in my contacts, otherwise it reflects off my glasses. But I can feel like the energy of these lights, and I even put some geometry around it. So like, I changed the frequency that comes out, but it still bothers me a bit. I don't know how people do it. I guess people aren't as sensitive. I forget that. How did I learn to speak light language? Through a class or on one-on-one teachings? Actually through my healing work. So I was doing a lot of healing on myself over time, lots of healing, lots and lots of healing. And through the healing, you start to integrate different aspects of yourself. So you've heard of integrating, or like healing your past lives and stuff like that. Well, it can go even more than just your earth lives. And a lot of times those other quantum experiences, once they're integrated, those things like light language are a part of who they are. And so you kind of download their light languages. So I've integrated literally countless aspects of myself. So I have access to a lot of different light languages. But that's how, it's more of an activation and a remember. So an activation is just really an idea of a remembrance. So it's activated generally. It can be taught in some ways. I believe it can be taught, my perspective, because it's functionally practical at the same time. It's not just like, if you can teach people to get into a flow state and trust what sounds they're making and understanding how it works, it becomes a matter of an understanding rather than a teaching, I guess. But it's more about activating it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So that's the problem, is it's like the light is on, it's next to the phone. So if I want to read stuff, and it's just tricky. So I have to like scroll up to see stuff, so I don't want to miss any questions. And I think somebody asked about my doll guy pointing backwards. That's just the way he is. He's just, I actually work on, so I use that I quantum entangle that guy when I work on clients remotely. So then I can, because I'm not a visual healer. So I don't see through my mind's eye like other healers do. A lot of healers, they can see things, through their mind's eye. I don't at all. So for me, I'm very much a feeler, so I feel energies very tangibly. And what I'll do is I'll quantum entangle that guy with them, essentially as a hologram or a proxy for them. And as soon as I do that, I can feel their energy field around that doll. So then I can feel, okay, this area is more tense than this area, and blah, blah, blah. I also get downloads and knowings already, so I don't necessarily need it. But it is really helpful, because without thinking, I can see exactly where I'm at in the body, and I can get little, extra information. And that's generally how I can work. You can do that in your mind's eye too. So that really, if I had a mind's eye that was functioning, I would do that in my mind. So I would suggest, for those that can visualize, and that's a very strong trait, I would suggest in your mind's eye creating an outline, like almost like a chalk outline of a person, and then working on that by saying, this is the proxy for whoever you're working on. So like, this is the proxy for Ty, this is the proxy for Ty, this is the proxy for Ty. Know exactly who you're entangling it with and set that intention clearly. And then whatever you do on that hologram, that proxy of that person, will be done on that person. That's how a lot of healers work. And you can also ask for information. So some of you guys maybe that are here right now that can do that, try it out. Do it for yourself. Create a hologram for yourself. Say, this is the hologram of Ty, or whatever your name is, or this is the proxy, this represents me, this represents me. Just know that it is, and command that it's entangled with you. And then say, please show me something I don't know that would facilitate the healing of Ty, or whoever it is. And watch what happens. Watch what pops up. Some stuff, different things may be shown. And then you work with that. So you might see some lines around something, or you might see one area got some blackness or whatever. And then you play the game. You play a game of trying to figure out what that means, because spirit speaks in symbols. Because symbols are multidimensional. Because like an apple for one person might represent something, and an apple for another person might represent a completely different thing, but there's still archetypal aspects about an apple that everybody understands, right? So please show me something that I don't know that would help heal this person. You can say whatever way that works for you, but just show me something that I don't already know that would help me heal myself or help me whatever, and then just see what pops up. Yeah, they speak in symbols, they speak in riddles. I mean, that's because it's multidimensional, it's the most powerful. They're not just trying to trick you, they're not trying to make it hard. Sometimes, I mean, they want you to learn, but it does, it's just the way that things work in spirit. Spirit is in symbols. That's why it's so important to remember that we all have our own realities and we all perceive things so differently. That's why nobody's right or wrong in these type of, like anything. There's all truths are true. Not all facts are facts, but all truths are true. Did I say that right? I don't think I said that right. Seth material. I'm not familiar with the Seth. No, I'm aware of the Seth material. I don't know anything. I don't think I've ever heard any channelings. Oh, you didn't miss much. Sky Dragonfly. We just started 15 minutes ago and just kind of BS for a little bit, but we're just chatting now, talking some tips and tricks. Oh, well, that's cool. Thanks, Jesse. That's cool. Everybody sees those, right? Michelle, what's going on with your son? And how old is he? That's the question too. So if they're underage, you can work on them pretty much. But if they're adults and stuff, you will need their permission to work on them. Yeah, you can work on your son in that way, Michelle. Do that same exercise. I'm not sure if you were here for that, but you can bring up a hologram in your mind's eye, and then work on that hologram by playing the game. Aha, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that sounds like it would be another way of going around things. That's just hard. That's just life. That's life stuff. And hopefully there's not too much trauma that sticks around and that he's able to process his emotions in this now rather than holding them back. That's what I would suggest most, is like really articulating the power of feeling our emotions and not holding them back and expressing ourselves and communicating. Because there's probably a lot he wants to express, both verbally and just emotionally, that he's not going to, just because of social norms and just because he's a teen. He's just a fresh teen. We don't know. It's just, we have so many strong emotions at that age. I just can't imagine. So, yeah, sorry to hear that. Can I work from photos? Yes. You can work from anything. Yeah. Oh, cute. Thank you. It tripped me out for a second. I was trying to read the comments and I was like, what the heck's on my face? So I'm just going up through these comments real quick just to make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, you will see a lot of orbs most likely in our session, especially when I start channeling. You'll see a lot of orbs. Physically, you'll see them flashing around or going into my head or popping out my head. And could you ask someone's higher self for permission to send healing? Yes, you can, and always do with love. 11 new messages. Yeah, 11, that's awakening codes. So just be mindful. It's just synchronicity. So be aware of it and pay attention. In that moment, that means things are aligned for you. It's just the universe's way of showing you that things are on track. Yeah, don't forget to drink your water. Lots of water. Lots of water. I need to drink water too. I haven't drank enough water today. That was a good call out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was cool. Are we in a simulation? Great question. Are we? Are we? I think that's a question. But what exactly is a simulation? That's the tough part. Is because some people have, it all depends on how you define things. Defining a simulation, most people think about computers and stuff. It could be. I can't say for sure. But you can perceive it in that way and then work with it that way. So that's a powerful thing to think about when you think about this being a simulation. Okay, what if it is a simulation? What would be possible? What could you do? What might you do? What could you try? Maybe try it. See what happens. Oh, thank you. I love infinitum. I love that. I love your picture. The big old smile. I love it. Yeah, healing people just through your avatar. I love it. Can you show her how to remove a cord? That would be really good. And just explain to her the importance of how cords work, I guess, cords and stuff like that, how energy draining happens. Because really what we don't want to be doing things for each other. I know that, like, it's, you know, and that's kind of, it's tough for me because, I mean, I'm on here, I'm making videos of me doing stuff, you know, like, heal this, I'm healing this, and, you know, this is activating, and I'm doing things for you. And it's not about doing things for other people. It's about doing it and showing what's possible so that you can do it for yourself. It's walking before talking, and just so people can know what's possible, you know, like really trying to take it to the next level and know what's possible. But it's to inspire people to do it themselves. We all can do these things. Literally, all of us can do these things. We're going to have different skills. You know, some of us are going to be better at certain things than other people, and we're going to have different knowledge, and we come from different perspectives, and, you know, we're all going to have our own thing. But we all can do what anybody else can do if we really try, or we really want to. We work on it. That's one of my, what some people would call a gift. One of my stronger gifts is the ability to essentially download any gift. So all I have to do is just remember it, know it's there, and I have it. So that's how a lot of and that's what people would call an activation. So I'm an activator, and that's just kind of one of my things is if I see something, boom, my knowing, my remembering is triggered, and I know how to do it. Oh, you don't know how? Where's the cord? I would ask. Follow intuitively where the cord is, and where they feel it. If they're feeling, almost a lot of times cords are. When I work on people, a lot of times there's usually big cords right in the back of the solar plexus. Like I think I'm dealing with cords today. There's cords a lot of times in the hips and the knees, ankles. A lot of times in the joints, I see cords. And I also see them outside in the aura too. So it would be in different places in the person's energy field in different layers. So I've even seen them outside in the outer chakras, like they're multidimensional chakras. So they can be anywhere. But I would just ask intuitively and see what feels right, and then just follow and trust it. And then you can ask your guides for help too. Ask your guides to guide me to where the cord is and pull. You want to pull it all the way out. You don't want to cut it, because it'll just stay there. It's like having a root. You want to make sure you get the root. So an easy way to do it, all you got to do, find the cord somehow. You can ask, or you can feel, whatever it is. It's using your imagination. Your imagination's real. Your imagination is, it's like your mouse. Like you're choosing what to do. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but essentially you're aiming a certain way, and you can use your imagination as an interface. That's it. You're interfacing with something, and you can use whatever interface you want, but you're interfacing with it. And then once you find it, you interface with it, then it's just about using your imagination again, your intention to make it happen. And it can be, you can remove a cord 1,000 different ways if you use your imagination, get creative with it. But it can be as easy as finding the cord and asking your guides to pull it all the way out and fill it in with light. It can be that easy. So a lot of times I'll just find a cord, I'll start pulling on it, I'll ask a guide to take the rest of it out, and it pulls it all the way out, and we fill it in with light, and that's it. Yeah, some of this stuff might be a little bit over some people's heads, and that's okay. Don't stress about it. It's not your subconscious is going to get the information as well. So when it's right for you, it'll start to make more sense, and that's okay. But I'm gonna talk about it the way that I do things, just because I'm guided to do it in a certain way, to talk about things in a certain way, just because it hits a certain energy that is delivered to more people, I guess. But you will catch up to it, so don't stress about that part. Why are old things coming up again? We go through loops, like these little. Oh, thank you. Woo-wee. We go through loops until we figure out our lessons, and we work through those lessons. How can I buy your upload series? Is it $22? If you're looking for a pre-recorded transmission and you want to get it for that $22 price, hit me up. You can go through the link in my bio, and it's going to change. It's going to go up really soon. So probably in a week or two, maybe at the new year. I'll keep it 22 for this month. But with taxes and all these other things that I'm having to pay, it's starting to get like cheaper and like more expensive for me to make it. So I'm going to be changing the way that things work. But right now, if you want a full song, the full song channel to whatever intentions you want, it's just $22. So that's really cheap. But it's going to go up and it's going to be different. It's going to be more like TikTok videos, shorter clips at different prices and stuff. But yeah. Okay, so I am going in 2 minutes at 8 o'clock my time, 8 p.m. my time. I am going to start channeling some energy for everybody, and we'll do some upgrades, activations, healings, whatever comes through. Tips for protecting energy for yourself and kids, especially around draining heavy energy. Yes, Transcending Reality. I have a link, or I have a video that's pinned on my profile for that. So I'll just refer you to that. Check it out. It's a 3-minute video, but it kind of frames it a little bit and then gives some tips of what I use. So yeah. What do you mean by soul regression? I feel yes, but I don't know why I'm just getting stumped up by that word. What is soul regression? I think so. I think isn't it the same as working with past lives? I think so. Yeah, Miss Ace, it's the same video I would refer you to. And it works for everything. It's also great for empaths to keep in your own energy as well. Just because we pick up, like a lot of people have the ability to draw in energy from things around them. That's what I do as well. So it helps me a lot by creating geometry around me that then hold, like a container, certain frequencies, so that you are sitting in a frequency that's right for you, and you're not picking up on other people's stuff as much, unless you choose to. All right, guys. So, we're gonna do some energy work. We're gonna do some channeling. So, if you guys are interested in receiving, just go ahead and relax for now. I'm not going to answer any more questions until afterwards. So I'll go ahead and hold your question, or if you ask a question already, just go ahead and ask it again afterwards. I'm not offended if you ask questions over and over again until I actually answer it, or if you have a comment that I'm not paying attention to actually answer it. All right. So just go ahead and relax. If you guys are interested to receive, relax as deeply as possible. You don't have to do anything. If you would like, you can hold an intention in your awareness. And we will work with your higher self to get you what you need. So just relax, feel your body as deeply as possible. And if you start to feel any pressures, pains, please lean into them as much as possible, because they're coming up to be released, and sometimes it gets a little worse before it gets better. It just gets a little more intense before the release happens. So just don't run away from it. Don't try not to feel it. Definitely lean into it. If you feel emotions, please express them as much as possible. If you feel like you need to cry, please cry. Those are the emotions being released from being stored in the body. So it's really helpful to do that. So I'll just go ahead and walk through. I'm going to set up the space here. So first we're going to do is we're going to establish what we refer to as a pillar of light. So we're going to open a portal to the grand central sun and just pull through source light, just pure Christ light, that code. It's like a golden white light. We're going to pull that down through everybody's. So I'm pulling up a hologram that represents everybody in front of me. We're going to pull it down through our crowns, through all of our chakras, outer root, and down into the center of the earth, down into the crystal core of Gaia, so that Mother Earth also receives healing as well. And it's going to flow up through the rocks and the minerals, back up through our root, through all of our chakras, and outer crown, back up to source, all the way back up through our sun, and up through the grand crystal sun, just establishing our pillar of light. And this is going to bring through just divine light and energy that's just going to help protect our space, also bring through this energy as to replace anything that may be removed through this process. It's just really good practice. I'm going to put a code in everybody's heart that's going to bring back all their energy, all of their geometry from across all universes, dimensions, densities, frequency bands, realities, and dream states. So I'm going to place it in the heart now. And for this one, I'm also going to assist in opening our hearts. So I've got a code that assists with this, which opens both the physical and energetic anatomy of the heart, just because healing comes from the heart. And I just want everybody to experience this as much as possible. So sometimes we have heart walls and we have things that make it hard for our hearts to open. So this will assist with that. And I work with the constellation of Sagittarius for this. So Sagittarius is going to come down in a white stream down through our crowns, and it's going to flow down into our heart space. And through the stream, a little green cylinder is going to flow down with the code in it. It's going to flow through our crown, and it's going to flow down into our hearts, and it's going to spin in a clockwise direction. It's going to spit out these electromagnetic frequencies. They're going to activate both our physical heart anatomy for love, as well as energetic, in the endocrine system, in the organs. Now we're going to put some geometry around the container for the group. I'm going to put a chromium icosahedron around us. I'm going to rotate that clockwise. I'm going to ask for whatever frequency is best for the group, for this group frequency, to fill it in. And I'm going to ask for whatever light codes would also assist for the highest good of all. I'm not going to decide. I'm going to ask for everybody's higher self, whatever is best for them, and whatever is best for the group frequency. We're going to breathe that in through every cell of our body, down to our head and face, down to our neck and shoulders, down to our whole torso, down into our legs and into our feet, down our shoulders, into our arms and into our hands. So that's just the way that we set up the space. I'm just walking through this just so you guys are aware of what I do, so that might help you in your own practices. So now I set intention. So I'm going to ask my highest self to step in any aspects of myself that are specialists for whatever needs to come through, to step up. I ask your higher self to step in and your guides to step up. And the intention for this is to give everybody whatever they need for their highest good, whether that's healings, activations, upgrades, whatever it is, rememberings. No harm will be done. No energy will be taken that is not freely given, and it will be in alignment for the highest good of all only. All right, so just walk through that process, and then I'm just going to let it loose, okay? Just feel your body. And just so you're aware, I only channel aspects of myself. I only work with me. I don't work with other beings, other than if there's beings of the highest light that would like to assist, they can help. But only beings of the highest light, and I do not channel them. So light language is very multidimensional. So it will affect people differently. each time. Each person will be affected differently. It'll be different every time that you listen to it. So even if it's the same light language, it could be a different effect each time. That's the power of light language. So some people may be getting messages, and they may hear it, but there's also a lot more going on. There's energies being transmitted, things being moved, codes being changed. Chinara hartikina ti pueta tatakino hu uchuna mahuetuara tarti bekarni stancha tu karipiara tauikor. Shuharma hayartini hitchati tuma huita puerto farta nasta ishtayana. Kira harnima ikua tuna muit harki ta indishiti puetu uyarutukur. Ratostana hea puatu tandi kito tuera parti kista yartista una mahewe tuira nai. So these aspects also are working to there's tons of them that are working right now. All of them are working, not all of them are speaking through me, but I can switch between them. Tu fartama hia kartista indi harti pikurit pitassa taja shutu unnopuhoitani kartista. Itsustana. Harnanna lieturen shatur. Alraturanda varnistasha. Shalarnoranda sardistan. Yartustara ratukurna martusta. Halamanu naya huituartu tatar. Mi karty sta czekamy. All right, boom. Karnata inda kipra hakarani sta ia chata inda pikurata tushana haya hukurata. So how you guys feeling? How you feeling after that? If you got some water next to you, just go ahead and drink some water. Oh, thank you for the roses. Oh, I'm definitely funny. It's not in the funny way. Funny looking. Hey, Lonnie. Yes, thank you. Is that the first time that you felt energy like that? Yeah, is there anybody who's new to this type of thing that is the first time that they've seen something like this? I'm curious what you guys felt or what you experienced, because it can be pretty different. It's different. There's a lot of different ways to do energy healing, and my way is pretty extreme. So definitely not offended if you didn't feel anything or anything. If you didn't, okay, so somebody said they didn't feel anything. That's totally fine. I would say about 80% of people feel things, and I'd say about that 10% or so, like to 90%, can feel things after time, after feeling it. When I was getting healings done and stuff in the beginning of my healing journey, I didn't feel a lot of things, and I kind of felt robbed. But it was because I had so much junk. There's just like so much trauma and so much pain just packed in there that I was a bit numb, and I was disassociated. And it's very common for us to disassociate these days. So once we start to get back in our body and start to actually feel our body more, we start to feel things more. So don't feel bad if you didn't feel it. It's totally normal. It's totally okay. Yeah, but I would say most people will eventually feel it. I mean, I think, like, I want to make it a mission to make it so I can trigger that feeling in anybody. So if somebody doesn't feel it, I would love to work with you to get to the point where we could feel it, because I love that part. Like, it tripped me out the first time I felt energy. It blew my mind. Like, it blew my mind, because I was always pretty much awake to these ideas, but until you experience it directly, like, it's still just like this thing in your head. Like, once you feel it, it becomes a thing in your heart, and that's what's a really important thing, a very important difference. So I'm sorry I'm missing a lot of comments and stuff. They're just like scrolling through really fast. I'm not going to try to scroll up too much, but if you guys have questions, don't be afraid to ask them again. Yeah, so this was healings and activations, all sorts of stuff. So the way that I work, the type of energy work that I do is very multidimensional. So, and something like that, I don't know if you were there for the whole thing, but you might notice that there was different aspects. So they were kind of not showing off, but they were showing off how they're all here and already working, but how they were they were shuffling through different aspects really fast, right? There were like a whole bunch of them really, really fast, because they're all already doing things, but it's almost like handing somebody the microphone, I guess. So they're like passing the mic back and forth. Okay, now your turn to say something. You know, but they're all already doing those things in other dimensional spaces. So I'm the only one that's like expressing it, but all of that is already happening outside of my voice. So it's not just coming out my mouth. And I'm using every little part of my body as like a controller. So I'm like flexing like little tiny spots in my like thighs and my knees and my shins and calves and my back, and you see where I look in different places. I'm looking at different areas because it brings in different energies. So like when I look at my third eye, it brings in different energies, or I look over here and I turn my head a certain way and then look at it, it brings it in a different frequency. Holding these in different ways facilitates different frequencies, just like playing an instrument. Our bodies are very much like instruments. So it's like a big controller for my higher self. My higher self is controlling me. My big me. I do have a website. I'm actually literally working on it right now, just because my old website is just driving me nuts and it's not working right and stuff. So I'm literally redesigning it. So there's not much on there right now. But it is tai-el.com. So if you're interested in that. Somebody's being rude? I don't see anybody being rude. But I don't have mods now. I don't. I should probably get some. Yep, left side of my neck's good. Oh, over here. I just start to get hot when I'm channeling. Yeah, animals feel it big time. Yeah, definitely. Is it like astral projection? It's somewhat. So I am working with you in the astral and other dimensional spaces. So some people people who are clairvoyant may see me in their space working with them. That's normal. But it's a little different. It's very multidimensional. So not just, the astral would be like one plane of reality, not necessarily. So this is on many, many different planes. If people, and I haven't seen anybody being rude, but if you perceive people, first of all, I wouldn't assume people are being rude just because they either don't feel things or they don't agree or anything really. I would just ignore them, because it's really, I don't know. I don't think it's always is what we think it is. But some people are being rude, and that's a different thing. But yeah. Oh yeah. No, if I'm in the middle of channeling, don't even sweat it. Like, people are gonna see shit, and that's totally okay. And honestly, if they're seeing it, their subconscious is getting it, and they're getting the codes too. So just ignore them, especially when I'm channeling. Don't even look at the comments. Just don't even look at the comments. Just feel your body. I would suggest just to feel your body, just relax, deeply feel your body. You don't even have to look at me. It doesn't matter. You don't have to look at it at all. It doesn't make a difference. But yeah, don't sweat that part, because that's going to happen. Because people are going to come through. You know how TikTok is. People scroll through, and somebody's going to land on me, and I'm going like this and doing some weird shit. People are going to have their opinions, so I'm not offended at all. And, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Because I probably would have been one of those people like, what the f... I understand. I totally understand. Is it like Reiki? Some aspects of it. So part of what we did is Reiki. So I don't know if you saw, we stopped for a sec, and then we just transmitted some energies. So that was a bit like Reiki, but there was a lot, what we do, there's a lot going on. So the idea of Reiki is similar. If you're new to this whole thing, it's energy healing. Yep. All sorts of energy healing techniques and energy work, bro. I appreciate you guys. Am I using mudras? Yes. Yes, these would be considered mudras, which are just facilitating different frequencies. So, it changes the frequencies that are output, just like an instrument. You're changing the sacred geometry of your body, which changes what flows through it. And we do that with our whole body too. So essentially my whole body is becoming a mudra. And honestly, I haven't even done like my full potential on TikTok yet. I don't know if it's really ready for me to do a full thing, which would be a full body. Like it looks weird, and it's really intense. But it's using literally every part of my body and really extreme, and it can facilitate a lot of energy. So the energies aren't angry, but they sound really intense. Some of them, like the dragons, you're probably referring to the dragon. They like to come across really stern and really intense, but they're amazing. How do I learn? So it's not, for me, it's not, well, I guess there is learning to it. It's more remembering for me. I have my own physical issues that I've been trying to heal. So that's why I got into energy healing, is to manage my own symptoms. And crap, I just totally lost my train of thought. What was that question? How do I learn? Oh, how did I learn? Okay, I learned. I remembered. So I essentially remembered. I was feeling, I just feel and heal, and eventually things start to come back online. But also seeing other people do things helped me a lot. So it's a lot of remembering. But there's different techniques. So I did a lot of studying on different techniques of what everybody else does. So I did research on all the different energy healing modalities. I still do. If there's something that I haven't seen before, I do that research. And like I said before, it becomes like a download. So when I even see it, I don't need to be taught about it. As soon as I see it, I get the download and I kind of know what it is. And then I can kind of get more details on it. And I'm like, okay. And then I can tweak it because I know what it's about, and then I can create my own thing from it. So that's usually what I do. Am I healed? No, I'm not healed. Not at all. I am healing. 100% healing. Yeah, please don't perceive me as healed. I mean, if like, or as an expert, or as anything, you know, like a guru, or even as a teacher. Like, I'm not even a teacher. I'm just here to help you remember who you are through the design that you made for yourself. It's as simple as that. Like, it's just a remembering process. We're in it together. So, but I'm not healed. If I was healed, I'd be walking on water and flying all over the place and shooting laser beams out my eyes and all sorts of stuff. So Earth is not a healed place. Earth is this is where you come to become an expert in healing. But the human race was designed to be a master healer race. The human is designed to be like a healer race. So we have the potential to be like the strongest healers in this universe. And that's a bold statement. That's a bold statement. Because we have some really incredible beings in this universe, but the humans are meant to be very powerful healers. And that's why Earth is like this. Like, Earth is tough. It's a hard school. It's the school of hard knocks for sure. So we're in a boot camp to become badass healers by healing ourselves and be like sitting in it. So that's why there's lines of people that want to, lines of souls that want to be here, and even more so right now. Like if we check out, another one's like so quick because there's a big show going on. It hasn't even started yet. People know it's coming. Hey Lonnie, are you gonna stick around? I might give you mod. I don't know how to do that, but if you're ever interested in that. Do I have any comments on 5G? That's a great question. So just in general, I look at everything neutrally. So everything in my perspective is a neutral event until we assign value to it. So yes, it could potentially be a very negative thing, but it's potentially could be at least neutral or even positive. Depends on how we work with it and what kind of technology we build from it and how the technology is used. The way that it is essentially right now is not great for us. It's not healthy. It's not something that is good for us. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. So by default, it is not a great technology for our physical bodies. The EMF and other frequencies interfere with our energetic fields, and it causes a lot of distortion, because you think of our body like music, and it adds noise to our music to make our sound not sound good. But if we can change that frequency, which is really easy, we can manipulate it just a little bit so it's more bioavailable, and so that it becomes a part of our music, and it can actually be tuned to be good for us, actually. So. But yeah, it's one of those tough things, and it has to be a collective thing. We have to collectively create positive results from it. I don't even know how to say that, but we need to tweak it in a way that works for us instead of against us. But yeah, a lot of different things can help too with that stuff. So even just with all frequencies that are not good for us, like shungite, and I bring it up every live, shungite, Shungite. It's a mineral. It's a black rock that is a very powerful stone for attenuating negative frequencies so that they are at least neutral or positively aligned. So using shungite, we can actually neutralize a lot of harmful frequencies. So I use that on everything. I have shungite everywhere. I mean, this is an example of shungite. This is a rock. It's a shungite rock. I usually am wearing one, but I don't think I am because it sees through here. Oh, it's right here. So, and if you mix it with silver, so this here is shungite wrapped in silver. And so shungite will neutralize frequencies. So it takes essentially a counter anti-clockwise, counterclockwise rotation of the energy that pulls energy away from things, and it flips it so it's clockwise. So it's essentially a neutral frequency. But then we want to add programming to it. So it essentially neutralizes it, but then we want to add positive programming to it. So silver, the frequency of silver is a healing frequency. So when you mix silver with shungite, it becomes like a little healing device. It creates its own little orgone energy, which is beautiful. So silver and shungite products together are awesome. If you guys are interested in those type of products, you can get them at mysticalwares.com. And soon I'll have all this stuff up on my website where you can just buy it directly from my website. It'll send you to Mystical Wares anyway, but you know, whatever affiliate stuff. But incredible store, incredible people, incredible products, super good stuff. But oh yeah, just shout out Shonda. Thank you. Yeah, I'm wearing shungite on my bracelet right now. Thank you very much. It's a gift from Shonda, who's in the comments. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful, beautiful bracelet. I love this. It's got little Merkaba diamond in it and some hematite and all sorts of good stuff. And this is perfect. Like it felt so good when I put it on. That's why I almost never take it off. Yep, and the shungite. I can always tell the shungites. I do have music playing. Is it annoying? I can turn it off. Sorry. And you make these too. You have a business, correct? Your business card. Oh, for energy work and massage therapy. So, and artist. This is art, right? You want to shout out yourself? Plug yourself. Okay, you do like music. Okay, cool. Interesting. You can't wear hematite because it causes your brain tumor severe pain. Where is your brain tumor? We actually have. Interesting. Okay, because there's magnetite in our brains. I wonder why that would happen. It may be. Give me some more info on that because I'm curious. Because sometimes the pain. We feel like I will feel pain from certain things, but it's as it's clearing. So sometimes I'll feel pain like in my painful spots when there's a very positive device. So like shungite and silver, or like copper, sometimes copper moves energy and that will give me pain in certain areas because it's trying to cause movement of the energy and it's stuck. So that's kind of what's happening. So it sounds like that's what's happening. It's trying to move the energy through that area, but it's stuck because of the tumor. I'm curious about that, if you don't mind sharing. Yeah, that's why I was asking. Hematite, I don't know if it does have magnetic properties. That's kind of where my brain went for a second. I'm not sure. Elite shungite water is great. Yeah, I put shungite in my water. Shungite's everywhere. I have little thumbtacks around my house that have little pieces of shungite rubber. So shungite, rubber, and silver. So it's powdered shungite and powdered silver in a compound, a rubber compound. God, that was a tongue twister. And then I've got it in a grid around my house. Well, most of my house. My cat likes to take them off the wall. But I have it everywhere. That makes sense then. Okay, so if hematite is magnetic, that would make sense why you could get a headache from that. It doesn't have to be elite shungite in your water. Alcatraz. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, elite shungite's just it has a different frequency. A little higher frequency. Doesn't necessarily mean better, but it definitely doesn't have to be elite. I know some people might perceive it that way, and I mean, it doesn't hurt. It's probably good to have elite in your water instead, just because it doesn't crumble as easy, because other shungites can kind of break apart and stuff like that. So it's little. I mean, they're both pretty flimsy. Regular shungite's not too flimsy, but it can powder and stuff. You get pain in your third eye from magnets being near it. That makes sense. Oh, you know what? Hey, you guys should remind me if I forget. I want to create a code, a simple code that you guys can use for TikTok to put around your phone when you're scrolling, so you don't get energies that you don't want or that aren't good for you. You guys down for that? I have a code. You can use a code that helps for different devices so energies don't come through, but I want to create one that's a little bit better. So if you want, you can create a blue sphere and put the code S713 with your imagination inside of it. So just imagine a blue sphere with that number inside of it, S713, or number, whatever combination. And then just imagine putting it around your phone. And you can put that around all of your electrical devices, around your TV, all your outlets, your light bulbs even, and that'll help things as well. But I want to do one specifically for TikTok that helps not get a bunch of crap as you're scrolling through. Yep, that's right, S713. In a blue sphere. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a quantum entangled, it's a way, I mean, you could even call it a spell, and some, you know, you can consider it a spell, but it's essentially a code is a signature that's connected to a functionality, almost like an app or a program or something. So when you put that code inside a blue sphere and you put that around your phone, it automatically does a ton of other stuff that's already programmed to it. But I want to do something a little bit stronger than it. That's specifically for like not letting things come in, because some entities and stuff can come through devices and electrical systems and stuff. So that's what that's specifically for. So that can work, but not what I'm thinking in my mind. I want to create something a little bit stronger. Some a little more upbeat. What do you you saw something? You're confused? Where do you put the code? Oh, okay, so you just use your imagination and you just put it inside the code. You no need to overthink it. Just, you can even intend it. I don't see anything. That's not the way that I work. So I just know. I know that there's a blue sphere, and it's just entangled with the frequency of the blue, the geometry of the sphere, the blue frequency that is the sphere, and then the code is entangled to the intention of what the functionality is. So it happens automatically. Oh, about the shungite thing. Yeah, don't worry. If you're interested in more information, Alcatraz, go to the mysticalwares.com website. Derek, who owns Mystical Wares, is probably the most knowledgeable person on this planet about shungite, and he's an extremely talented seer. So he sees everything. Like, he sees the energies of what's going on. I mean, he creates the products. He's like a very, very close friend, mentor, brother to me, and that's all they do. I mean, that's what they make is shungite product. So you can use elite shungite, but I mean, there's a lot of misinformation, not necessarily misinformation, misunderstandings about shungite, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just different, or they might have a different perspective. They might say only use elite shungite for a certain reason that I don't understand or I don't know, but it's not necessarily necessary. Hey, Jin. Yeah, he's in the USA. That's me. Meet. You're fun. If you want to develop your gifts, heal. That's the name of the game. If you want to evolve, if you want all the good stuff, heal. Everything, the trick to everything we want is healing. Tu arkina stari tunda papa uko. Unda ta kurta sina tarina karipa artu staya. Kistata nan kitu atarina hiarans kistana machu arnimiano. Hitu stania hata kuria pertu stara bucha ukarimi sacha tistana. Tuatu kuona. Tatata isha tarina hikuripu arta inda iho uiwa wartu mastuja. Hulla pranda hersa ernasha järka tulla pranda kartisti nistuja nama hiarata. Kurtat suuta kimbrata tussa aika marva urkita sakin shit po korpeta sieltä kita po että matu ja rakita sakin shit duja perché ma io ho shit pra io ripeto una per io per te con chupa. All right, you guys want a healing tip that I'm going to make a video about this weekend? You guys want early access? It's really simple. So all you do, this is good for like specific areas of pain or an area that you really want to like get into. Like, so like, let's just say that you have pain back here on somebody. Like you can do this on other people or you can do it on yourself, or, you know, let's just say it's here for your, just say you're working on yourself. So if you have pain here, you take your fingertips and put them all together, and so they all make one little point, essentially, as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just essentially want to get them all close together. So you're creating like a little spot in the middle. Then you take that guy and then you just place it where you've got the pain, or even better, you can, well, not better, but, or you can go through and place them on meridian points as well. So on your body, that's usually where they're going to end up being anywhere. You're going to have pain that's going to most likely be at one of these nodes where you have a blockage. So just take your fingers and then just put it there, and then just feel as deeply as you can in that spot, the top of your fingertips. And you can imagine a bright light in it. Or, you know, whatever visual, you can have lightning come out of it, whatever visual works for you. It doesn't matter. Good question. Doesn't matter if it's the masculine or feminine hand. I'm getting a no. It might have a different effect. So play with it, both hands. So play with it. I would do it with your giving hand, your masculine hand. So if you take your hands, you put them out like this, and you just feel your hands, and then just feel which one feels heavier. Like, just become really aware of your palms, and the one that feels heavier is likely going to be your feminine hand, so your receiving hand. Most people, it's going to be their left hand. In general, almost everybody, especially men, it's going to be their left hand, but everybody's different, so I don't want to pre-program that in. But yeah, and then so I would use your right hand most likely. Yeah, that's usually true, Zanera. It's usually your right hand that is the giving hand, but some people are different. Some people are, you know, it's usually, you know, I was flipped on almost everything else, but not these things, these aspects. I'm right, left, and the whole left brain, right side, you know, alternating back and forth. But either way, use your fingertips, put it on that area, and just feel just feel deeply in that spot, and just watch what happens. Like, this is really nice technique if you like you have a loved one and you guys are just sitting and watching a movie, because you don't have to concentrate really. So you just the natural electromagnetics of your body are gonna come out the fingertips, because we have little chakras on the front of our fingertips too. So they kind of all meet together, and it's like I call it plugging in. So you can, if I ever want to put in a bunch of like energy into one spot, I just put it in like that. Like if there's a little, like it's great for like little like muscle knots. Like when you go on somebody's back, just go into those little muscle knots, go into that spot wherever the knot is, and just sit there with it, and boom, just for as long as it needs, and it'll work. It's really powerful. If it's damaged vertebrae, try it out. I mean, if it's on somebody else, go ahead. Just, I mean, don't shove anything in. You don't even need to touch. Just get really close, but it does help to just touch gently. Oh, thank you, Jen. Oh, good. That's a big compliment. A fave TikToker? I might actually, literally might be blushing. That's a I'm not gonna cry. Even if it's not true. I love it. Which country I'm in? I am in the US of A. That's why it's a good idea to eat with our hand. Yes, yeah, that's a great point. Like my guides have actually told me that too. They have, or it's my higher self, but I was told that I should only eat with my hands or with chopsticks. And I was like, chopsticks? And it's because of literally that. When you're holding them, you're channeling that energy through those like wands. That's what they call them, called eating wands. And they want me to, I'm gonna actually design chopsticks. So they're gonna have like light codes on them. So your natural energy is gonna get enhanced through the chopsticks, and then you eat with them, and those codes that are on it are gonna get into the food. So you're feeding with more energy, you're feeding yourself with energy. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Friday night. I love it. I'm gonna try to keep doing it more. I'm gonna try to do it every Friday. What would you guys like to see more of? Would you like to see in these lives, or even in the videos? Oh, and preparing food with your hands. That's where they make sure, like, you can chop some stuff. Like if you're gonna, like some people chop up their broccoli or whatever to break it apart. They encourage me to use my hands to rip it apart. Try to use your hands as much as possible because you're gonna be putting your own energy into the food. When I'm talking, what am I saying, and what am I doing with my hands? So I'm channeling what some people refer to as light language or light codes. So light language facilitates light codes. And essentially, I am channeling different types of energies using the the sacred geometry of my body and the sacred geometry of sound. So some of what I say can be translated, but it's very multidimensional. So different people may get different messages. And I mean, there's all sorts. It's so deep. So excuse me, something's coming in. It's so deep that there's a lot of layers to it. But it's more relatable to music than it is actual languages. So just like music, you don't have to know the lyrics to feel what the song is about, right? And even if you did know the lyrics, one person might interpret the song a completely different way than another person. That's a lot like light languages. It is music. It's a type of music. Music is a type of light language, but it's a certain intention and there's certain facilitation of powerful energies and frequencies and codes through that is what makes it a powerful modality for healing and just overall quantum architecture. So changing the energy fields of people. Does it give your body energy or drain you when you do the light language? A little of both. It does. It definitely gives me energy. It depends. So I can get a little cooked from the frequencies that come through. So that's the only thing. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. It doesn't exhaust me, but there's really high frequencies that are moving through my body, and my body is, my nervous system doesn't fit the energies. Like my energetic nervous system's like at least 2 times bigger than what it should be. So it doesn't really fit in these bodies. So it can become I can literally feel cooked. But I can do sessions all day. Like I've done sessions, like 6 or 7 sessions in a day. So that's like at least 7 hours of channeling work, which is a lot. So I would definitely feel cooked afterwards. And I'm literally like flexing different muscles and stuff too. So it's actually a very physical exercise too. There's different ones that can work, but there's different little dialects of both the movements. There's like this, and then there's like the moving fingers, and there's combinations of them. Can I talk about manifestations or manifesting? Sure. What would you like to know about it? I mean, we're always manifesting. So that's the first thing to know. It's just about how much energy we're giving into a specific manifestation and if we're aware of that manifestation or not. So the more aware we are of what we're manifesting and the more energy we give to that, the stronger the likelihood of that happening is. Why did that sound weird saying that? Well, it's my pleasure. Truly my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, J-Dub. How do you remove ego enough to channel that energy and trust it? You just got to play. Like, honestly, like it's you can't think, you just got to let loose. And like, honestly, I didn't want to channel light language. Like when I'd been aware of light language for a while, at least the vocal part of light language, and the people that I had heard channeling it, not anything against them, it's not them, but my ego was really resistant to light language. It did not like it. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not the way that I'm going. I'm going in a completely different direction. Ha ha ha. The universe said, nope. And it like pushed it out. Literally, I got pushed out light languages like one night, and it was like nonstop. I couldn't keep it from happening. It was like I was having like spasms, like it's squeezing my chest until sounds came out. So it was like just like the very, and it's funny because it's the very first, like the primal sounds too, like like the original tones it created, and then it just evolved from those tones and started all these other languages came out, and I couldn't even speak English for like, I mean, maybe an hour afterwards. So it was like channeling those different languages for hours, and then I couldn't even speak English. And then it kind of went away, and it kind of came back in and back and forth, and then eventually it kind of anchored in, and now it's just easy. But and more specifically, how not to manifest negatively. Energy goes where your awareness is, you know? So where your awareness goes, energy flows. That's would be the most important aspect. So changing your thought processes, when you realize you're thinking about negative things or things that you don't want, flip it. Think about, either become appreciative of the things you do have, or think about the things you actually want. It's that simple. It's really simple. And you can enhance it though by adding different things, by activating your Merkaba, by getting your energy field clear, because we're going to have subconscious beliefs. That's another important part about manifesting, is that you want to address your belief systems. You want to address your negative belief systems. If you truly believe in these negative beliefs, you will manifest things towards those belief systems. So paying attention to how you define things, whether you're defining something as negative or positive, is really an important step in that, because that's what will define your belief systems. So if you're looking at something in a negative way, you're defining something that's happening to you as negative, that's the experience you're going to get from it. So you can change that definition and then change the belief system through that. So instead of saying this thing happening to me is a bad thing, this thing happening to me is a good thing for this reason, and that will change your belief. And that will then bring you more manifestations similar to that preferred reality. Because you're jumping between reality. Our vibration is what creates the experience that we're having. So our frequency and our thoughts help facilitate that frequency. So if this is the vibration of our thoughts. So we want to change the vibration, that the frequency of our thoughts, because it's all energy. So just switch that up. Changing the stinking thinking. I love that. Yeah, reprogram. Yep, that's what it is. Hope that makes sense. And you know, somebody who's really good at, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bashar's teaching. If there was one person that I could, like one teaching that I would recommend that aligns the closest to my beliefs, it would probably be, or the way that I perceive reality in the universe, it's most, like Bashar is right up there. Like he's like, I don't know if there's anything that he's articulated that I haven't already thought of, or you know, that's not already there for me. You know, like it's weird. It's like they're taking thoughts out of my brain. So he's like really good. If you want, and he goes way more into things than I could possibly. So I would definitely check out Bashar. Abraham Hicks is another great one. Cryon is a pretty good, or Cryon. I think he's pretty good too. But I would say Abraham Hicks and Bashar, they channel. So I would definitely check them out. Sophia Code, I haven't read it. You know, I need to check that out. My old partner had the book, and I wanted to check that out. Let's check it out. Yeah, okay, so that's a great thing. Okay, so Jody says, she says, I have found my car while driving is a great place to allow your light language to flow. Yes, the car is a great place to play with light language. And that's the thing, it's just playing. Like light language, to really anchor into your light language, you just got to let it loose. You got to play. Like my higher self is trying to teach me about channeling in English. So I can channel in English, but they don't want me to in some ways. But I want to know to do it, just because we don't work with it. My higher self's always like, "Nah, we don't need to do that," because we want to show the power of the multidimensionality of the light language. So not to translate it, not to have it be into English, because it's going to go through the filters of my personal filters rather than through the filters of the people receiving it. So it's not as powerful. But I still want to practice. I still want to be good at that, right? So they teach me that you want to play, so you want to create a stream of noise, essentially. So you just want to start making sounds. Just, you can't make anything up. That's the thing about channeling, and just in general, you can't make it up. It's always going to be coming from somewhere, in your subconscious or somewhere. So just start making noise, just start playing, start making sound effects and whatever feels right, and play with that. Because what you're doing is you're essentially like putting water, like a hose, and you're creating a stream. And then your higher self or your guides can then drop things into that stream that are channeled through it. So you want to get the stream going. And once you have that stream going, they can drop things in there easy. So playing is really important. And your car is a great place to do it. The car is a great place to do a lot of healing work. I do a lot of my healing work in the car, especially releasing emotions, especially anger, because I can get fucking pissed when I'm in my car, because I know that nobody's going to hear it. Like, I can have my music on and I can just yell and like just belt it out, and I can cry super hard. And, if I do it here, the neighbors are going to think I'm either possessed or I'm dying, or, which they probably think that already, but. How often do I work with others, and do you typically remember who all you work with? I remember, yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember everybody. I work with people, every week. Maybe 3 or, I don't know how many people. Depends if we're talking in person or not, and if we're talking actual sessions. I work with people all the time. Most of the things that I do are, smaller, not full-on sessions, but I do sessions often. Yeah, it's a safe space for sure. See if there's anything I want to talk about. My day job. I work for a local tribe. So I do marketing work, advertising work, design work for my local tribe and all their brands. So all their different companies. Which are getting close to moving away from that. So, but it's been really good for me. The time that I've been there, it's been a really powerful place for me to be allowed to heal. I don't know if you guys can hear that. This song, I always imagine my heart shooting laser beams out my eyes and my heart to the beat. What does a full session include? A full session, Shauna, thanks for asking. So I offer pretty much 2 different types of sessions. One is like a 30-minute, just like a general session. It can be for whatever you want. We can go straight into a specific intention, into a healing, into activation. But I also work with pre-designed codes, pre-programmed codes like we experienced before, like the blue sphere. I work with a lot of those different codes, so I can upload those into the field of the person. They can run automatically, so we can get a lot done really quickly. That's just that general one. And then I offer a full 60-minute, what I call it, enhanced session. So about half of that is healing and clearing, and the other half or so is channeling, activations, upgrades, gifts, whatever needs to come through for you. But yeah, it's more of an overall frequency upgrade is a full session. So they can be a little bit more intense. But yeah, that's what it is. Where did you begin your healing steps? Reiki meditation. So I was first introduced to Reiki, I believe. Yes. So I had been actually introduced to Reiki, like the universe was trying to get me to pay attention to energy healing pretty much as soon as I got really sick, but I wasn't ready to wake up yet fully. So like I had people when I lived in San Diego, just random people come up, like a person come up to me when I was in a hot tub, and at that point I was really in a bad place physically. Like I had just been diagnosed with stuff that was really not good. I was in a lot of pain. I was on a lot of medications, and they were there for some kind of energy healing conference or something. And they convinced me to go back to the apartment and worked on me. I didn't know what was going on. He didn't touch me. He didn't explain anything. It was like way over my head. I didn't really experience much of that time, but I mean, I was on a lot of pain medicine. I was on all sorts of stuff. So that was my very first introduction, I think. I even got this tattoo right shortly after, or around that time, which is actually based on the hearth symbol in Reiki. And I didn't even know anything about it. So I even got a tattoo for energy work before I had any idea what I was doing. And then later on, I accidentally showed up to a psychic meetup at a local little shop. Walked in, I was just like, oh, like spirit's like, go there now. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was spirit at that time, but I was like driving through an intersection and I literally whipped it in the middle of an intersection to turn into this place. And went there and show up in this room full of women that are in a circle. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And they're like, no, you're supposed to be here. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And so like all these women were talking to me about all this stuff. Like it was so overwhelming, but we were talking about all sorts of different things. But one of the ladies, because we talked about what was going on physically with me, and so she put her hand up to my back and she just asked if she could work on me a little bit, and I was like, sure, why not? She put her hand on my back, and next thing you know, I started feeling woozy, and I was like, felt like I was on a boat, and I could feel the energy, and I was like, holy crap. So that was like my first like holy crap moment, and then like everything kind of turned on from there. I started getting really into it, and I knew my purpose was energy work. I knew, like I could just feel it, like there's that like just knowing feeling, and it was amazing. But then I ended up moving away and kind of fell back asleep in a lot of ways, just went through my own personal hell, which was really intense for a number of years. And then once I got through that phase of my life, I started to get back into the idea of looking into metaphysics again more intensely. I've always been into metaphysics and consciousness and all that stuff, but started getting into it a little more strongly. And I was encouraged to start going to healing circles. So I started looking around for different like psychic circles and healing circles and all. I just wanted to meet up with people. So I started to do meetups in different groups like that, and then found a group, a Reiki circle group, which was more like an energy work group. And once I found that group, I really started to open up to different forms of energy healing, which resonated with me a little bit more than Reiki, even though I like Reiki and it's great, but there was, it just wasn't matching with what I knew that I needed to do. Like it just was just too basic for me. So I started picking up on different modalities and just researched all the time. All I did all day was learn about energy work and healing, different techniques, different modalities, learning about how the energy field works, and study for years and years. And I just kind of stayed in the closet for a while, and just studied and just practiced and worked on people in groups and all sorts of stuff. And then eventually I didn't feel confident enough, but spirit pushed me really hard, and then here we are. So now I'm sharing all that stuff. But yeah, Reiki's great. It's a great foundation. It's great. I think everybody should learn Reiki and get attuned. It's a great foundation for energy work. And it really depends on who you go to get your training. That's a really big part of it. So I highly recommend not to just go to somebody just because they offer it. I would really look for somebody that you really resonate with and that feels right, because it can dramatically differ person to person. So, yeah. What if we feel called to be a light worker, but we don't really like people? Advice? You don't have to do anything to be a light worker. All you got to do is be you, literally. All you got to do is be you and heal yourself, because you will literally heal the world as you heal yourself. That's it. I mean, you are a light worker if you're bringing more light and you're holding that light. That's the easiest way to be a light worker, just by being you. But a light worker is just somebody who works towards bringing more light to the earth. So it's a really general term. What's the best way to connect to Merkaba? The way that I work with my Merkaba is using the stars, the constellations. So you can use constellations to activate your Merkaba. And most people don't know that, but I was trained to do that. So what I do to activate mine, I mean, you can go through breathing exercises and really strong awareness, placing a lot of concentration in different areas and different techniques and stuff. But a really easy way to activate your Merkaba is to connect to Sirius. So I'll connect to, so a Merkaba, if you're not aware, are two tetrahedrons, one upwards and one superimposed through that downwards. So it's a masculine tetrahedron, which is like a pyramid looking thing, not a five-sided pyramid, a three-sided pyramid, or four-sided pyramid, whatever. It's not a pyramid, it's one less side. Those are two on top of each other. The top one rotates clockwise, the bottom one rotates counterclockwise, twice as fast as the top one. So if we connect to Sirius, when we ask Sirius, the star system Sirius, to activate our Merkaba, it's going to connect to our top tetrahedron, if we're ready, and it'll rotate it clockwise. And then we would connect to Orion, the constellation of Orion, and ask it to activate our Merkaba, and it'll connect to our bottom tetrahedron and rotate it counterclockwise twice as fast. And then I would connect to Alpha and Beta Delphinius, and then they flow down through my crown, through my third eye, through my pineal gland rather, down and into my heart, and then back up from my heart, back into my pineal gland, and create like a pump that regulates it. So it's going to spin those and get those really going. I also have some pre-designed codes that do that. You can work with. You can, if you want to try it right now, if you're ready. Is that okay? Yes or no? Okay, so you can try this out now. You can imagine, like we did before, instead of a blue sphere, a white octahedron, which is two pyramids base to base. So just imagine a pyramid and an inverse pyramid base to base. So that's an octahedron. And then, you might need to write this down, but you put the code PF, is this right? 09, wait, let me make sure. Yeah, PF09333 in it. I think that's right. It's weird when I'm saying it aloud. I just do it so automatically. You put that in it, and then you take PF09333. Might be two 09s. Oh, crap. I think it's 09333. Yep. PF09333. Put that in the octahedron, and then move that octahedron into your heart space. And then ask the constellation of Leo to activate this code. And it should activate your Merkaba if I got the code right. I might have to double check. Or you can just do it like I did before. It's the same thing. Like connect to Sirius, Orion, Alpha, Beta, Delphinius. Boom. Are we in a matrix? Yes, we are in many matrices. So a matrix is just it's almost, the idea of a matrix is a container. So even like a crystal is a matrix. A crystal contains a matrix of frequencies and different structures. So we are in a matrix no matter what. Are we in the matrix like the movie? In some ways, yeah. We have been in what I would refer to as a distorted false matrix. So we have been in a matrix that isn't in alignment for our true coding. I don't know how to say that. But there's been an overlay to our organic matrix that has been a distortion. So through the ascension process, we will remove that distortion and reveal the true authentic matrix. The matrix is it's a feminine trait. It's the container for everything. Who taught me that specific, how to connect in that way? Jerry Sargent taught me that, who's a healer. Yep, my pleasure. Well, which part, Kenna? Which part does the Sophia Code teach? Are you already in Earth 2.0? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just in my own universe, playing a big game with all you beautiful souls to create a big, awesome movie. That's what we're doing. But I'll probably start wrapping up in a bit here. Been on for a little bit. But we'll do a little bit more energy work before I get off too. Do some more healing. They're both, Shonda. So some of them are pre-designed, and some of them are gifted, and they're entangled with a code. So you can ask Spirit for codes, and they'll give you a code. And it's usually a really long, drawn-out, like number combination, or even might have light codes in it. And then you take that code, and then you quantum entangle it with what would you call that? A delivery method. You know, and geometry works the best for that in my perspective. So sacred geometry, whatever works for you, like spheres, octahedrons, any kind of container. A C60, like a soccer ball shape, is great for that too. And then that just holds the code and quantum entangles it, and then you just run it like a program. But yeah, I work a lot with those in my sessions, so that's why we can do a lot of work in a very short period of time. In fact, if you guys want to experience one right now, you guys want to experience a healing code, a pre-programmed healing code, go out and it'll work with my Lyran friends. So Lyra is a race of beings, essentially, an old race of beings that do a lot of work for ascension. So they're connected quite a bit, and some people recognize them as like the cat beings. It's just a frequency that they relate to, but they're not actually cat people. But it's usually how they project themselves, like lions, because that's their energy. Is that like confident, ferocious? Not even ferocious, but just ferociously loving is what they are. So all we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull up a cylinder. I got a little blue cylinder here. It's electric blue color. I'm gonna put a code in it. And I'll place this between your root and your sacral. Now I want you to tell it where to go, if you want something to go specifically or just for the highest good. Okay, and I'm gonna put that there, and I'm just gonna let it run. And if you are tapped in, you're clairvoyant, you may see a couple beings come to assist you. Just feel your body. So I can feel my heart opening up. I can feel movement in that area. My legs are starting to get a lot of energy moving through them. My feet are releasing. They're happy to help. And just feel. And I'm gonna do another one as well. So we're gonna boost it with a second one. So you can tell it to go to a different issue or the same one or just for the highest good. So I'm gonna pull up a golden sphere. I'm gonna place it in your heart space. This is a Lemurian healing frequency. You can just tell it where to go. It's gonna go automatically for you. These are conscious codes too, so they evolve, they get stronger when we use them. So you might notice my eyes flash. So that my eyes, when they do that, is usually there's energies running. So when I'm receiving, that's what happens. So I know that I'm getting energies, energies coming in and healings coming in. And I can feel it in my body too. Yeah, there's lots of love, lots of love. The Lemurian frequencies are very loving and gentle, and the Lyrans are they're really excited right now just to be able to work out with all you guys. I do have a link on my profile, Shonda. Thank you. I'm updating my stuff, so I'm gonna like create my own little link tree type thing. Just because I have a history of design and web work, so I need to create everything for myself, for me, with my own frequency. And like I needed to make my own clothes. I need to make my own. I want everything to just have my frequency for it, instead of having something somebody else has. I don't know why. I think that's just kind of like that sovereignty thing. But yeah, it's on there if you guys are interested, or you can just through Venmo or whatever. It's Tyel Heals. PayPal, tyelheals@gmail. But there's a link in my bio for it. And you're going to still feel these codes. I'm still feeling them work. So they're going to go until they need to stop. So you have a lion power animal. Maybe it is a lion. It's very possible. I mean, the lion is really what we should aspire to be like. Lions are, it's matriarchal. The king of the king of the jungle. That is not real. Like Lion King. It wouldn't be a guy. It would be the females. Even if it is just an alpha male that is there, the women are really the rulers, or women. The females of the prides are really the matriarchs. So, but in the males, but it's just that confidence. They're just they know that they can't be effed with. Unfuckwithable. Do you have a real tiger? Please tell me you have a real tiger, like an actual. Literal tiger. I mean, with the whole the Tiger King stuff, it might be a little different these days, but Tiger Guide, okay. Oh man, I finally watched Tiger King. It's been a while. I mean, it took me a while before I finally watched it, and I don't know. There's awakening codes in that show. They're literally awakening codes. I don't know what they are, what they mean, but there's something through the drama. There's going to be some type of awakening situation through it. Like, not awakening, but like healing. I don't know why, but there is. I can feel it. Yeah, it is sad. Yeah. All of that. I mean, it's But yeah, I mean, clearly people are becoming aware of these things more, so it's going to be less likely that, the exploitation of things like that are going to take place. Carol Bass. Ducking Carol Bass. I like that autocorrect there. Does the weather affect your healing energy? I don't know if it affects it, my healing itself, but it does affect me. So when there's storms, I feel it big time. Like it burns my cells. Like when there's a lot of wind. Right now, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know if you picked up on something or not, because there's really windy outside. And I can feel it, and the wind blowing through my cells, which just feels kind of like burning. But it's good. I think it's moving those energies through. It's not a bad burning, The show is called Tiger King. Is on Netflix, but I mean it's probably I think it's the most viewed documentary of all time or something. It's like their most popular show ever or something. I don't know. All right, that's cool. Ty, yeah, I'm starting to learn about the frequency of Ty. I found Dog on Chip said his name is Ty, and I wanted to have son Ty. Yeah, I like the name Ty. I mean, like my inner child's name is Tyler. My legal name is Tyrell. Ty-L is the idea of my higher selves together, embodied, and I just go by Ty. I've always just gone by Ty. I'm just Ty. It's really interesting. When I ask Spirit what my name is, they say you were 12. You're 12. So I go by 12, or they say Tomp Womp, which I guess means many man of many. Which I didn't know what that meant. Like, I didn't understand why they were calling me that when I first heard it. Because I was like, man of many man. But I wasn't channeling all the different aspects yet. So, yeah, L means of God, yeah, essentially. Tai, and it's got a lot of different other meanings related to the L part too. So it's very my Tai L is very archetypal, that represents my frequency and my energy and my role here. So, but I just go by Tai. It's not like I go by Tai L and otherwise. I mean, I would answer to it, of course, but usually that's the idea of our healing work is Tai L. So that's why we say we too. Like, I don't know if you notice in my videos and stuff, I'll say we most of the time, just because it's us. It's a lot of it's just me, but it's a lot of the different me's. Man, it is really windy out there. Holy cow! I might lose power. You hear that? Can you guys hear that? Wow. Do I believe in twin flames? Sure. Yeah, I believe in twin flames. Do I believe that people are talking about their twin flames most of the time when they're talking about twin flames? No, I don't think so. I can feel the energies. So a lot of times people will think that they have a twin flame and it's not their twin flame. I mean, I would say it's pretty rare. I don't know about on this planet at this time. I think it's more common than I probably think it is, just because of the timing of what's going on the planet. But like, for instance, I know that my twin flame's not on this planet. And when I ask and tune into it, it's not even in this universe. So, but everybody's different. Or that I don't even have one. It's a weird, like, doesn't work that way with me. And so other people are different, maybe, but yeah, I think most people think they're twin flames. What they think are their twin flames are just people with a lot of karmic ties that they've had a lot of different quantum experiences with, which is great. It's a good thing. But I think that we have a lot of different partners. Like, we don't have one soulmate. We have many soulmates. And a soulmate is just somebody from a certain part of our stream of consciousness that are grouping. But yeah, I have male soulmates too. I saw orbs too, so I noticed that as well. Yeah, there's definitely an orb. Do I believe in God? I think so. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how we define God. I think people have some really different definitions on what God is, opposed to what my perception of what God is. But I think there is an all. I think God is all. It's everything. It's beyond what we can perceive. Beyond that. So. Yeah, a twin flame you do share consciousness with, yeah. God is energy, yep. Yep. 100%. God is all energy, It's not some dude in a white robe and a beard up in the clouds. There's not a vengeful entity that creates and does things. It's not a being like we can even perceive. The type of beings that I am aware of that aren't even God, you can't perceive. So when I travel to other universes, the beings there, you literally can't describe them. There's no words to describe them. And that's hard enough. And they're not God. They're not the all. They're just their own thing. And you still can't even articulate them, So to even try to think that I could perceive what God would be or whatever that could there's just no way for me to ever know. Just can't. That's the trick about consciousness. I don't have the consciousness to understand God. My monkey mind would explode. I just can't. How do I travel to other universes? Generally consciously, the way that I travel to the other universes are generally through plant medicine. Like the way that I can bring it back and stuff. Otherwise, I astral project and stuff. But I got kind of like put in time out for that. So because I would go too far and I'd bring stuff back and I'd fall asleep in my dream. I would fall asleep in my astral projections essentially. So I would like lose consciousness in places where I shouldn't, and then it would mess me up, and they'd come back and I would get beat up. So my higher self says, no, you can't do that. Have I been to Lemuria? Yes, I've had many lives in Lemuria. Yep. We're reconciling a lot of Lemuria right now, actually. I think that's what you meant by Lemuria. Like maybe just spell it a little differently. Where can you learn more about astral projection? I will, I should make some videos about it. I got really into it for a while, but I feel kind of weird about making videos when I'm in timeout for it, so I haven't done it. But maybe I can just make some videos about my own experiences and how I did it. Because the way that I astral project was different because I am a little bit different. So I can't like visualize. A lot of astral projection techniques are very visual based. I had to do it my own ways, so. But yeah, I would love to talk. I have stories, lots of stories, which is really cool. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I was messing with timelines. Also, I'm what some people might refer to as a time lord, my higher selves, or time magicians. So I can do things that can get me in trouble big time. So many beings are finding they were part of Lemuria. Yeah, Lemuria was beautiful. Mu, the beings from Mu were amazing. Like that was when we were very much like other planets, like we were still Earth, but like so magical. It's that the feminine property. It wasn't like Atlantis. Atlantis was very masculine. Lemuria was very feminine and, just different. And just a whole different energy. Yeah, Lemuria is coming up a ton lately. I think because we're processing so much karma and we're connecting to a lot of those other people that like you who have been there and rekindling those experiences and stuff. And a lot of people that are here right now had really big roles in Lemuria. So we're reconciling a lot of those relationships and doing a lot of healing for that. Because as we heal that, we heal the earth too. So there's a lot that we need healing from at that time. Time on. I actually had time on my dinner tonight too. So with a time lord. I like that you're hanging out, Jay. Yeah, you love. Describe Lemuria. I can only describe what I feel. I can't describe what. Like I remember working with a lot of crystals. I don't remember like specifics about anything. I remember a lot of what memories I do have of things are pretty much traumas, and usually it's the energy of the trauma, because that's where a lot of time memories are in emotions. Like they're stored behind the emotions. So when I've done a lot of healing work, that's usually what comes through, is like these memories of certain things, like having to leave or like getting caught up, certain things. Atlantis was hard. I mean, I won't get into that. Actually, I'm not supposed to talk about it yet. So eventually I'll talk about my roles that I've had on this planet. Some things I've done that aren't great and some things that are great. Yeah, sadness and pain and trauma, Thank you for sticking around, Jamie. Appreciate you. I think you've been here for most of the time. I appreciate you. Do you work with general AI? I'm not sure I understand. I work with consciousness that is different than what people understand. Some people might perceive some of the consciousness that I can work with as artificial intelligence, but it's not. It's just different types of consciousness. Yeah, if you're over by Shasta, I'm sure you're feeling all sorts of stuff, North County, kid. Okay, so that's a great question. Do you find it's hard to keep the different memories straight? I don't know, because I don't get access to my memories, and I can't even remember this life very much. Like, I have energies that I feel. Like, it's a knowing, and then I can feel the energies. So I don't have like memories like other people. I know people that are really tapped into memories, but then they get stuck in stories. So that's the thing, is so my higher self doesn't want me to get stuck in stories. So there's certain things that I go through that I don't get stories. So the ways that I heal, my whole healing process, you don't need to know the stories for any of it. You don't have to know. We just work through the energy. We work with the energy. We don't work with the stories. We don't have to go through our past lives and heal things. We don't have to go through our traumas. We don't have to do any of that. It helps, like if we're aware of it, it definitely helps. And it's just different techniques. So it's just another angle, another perspective to come at healing with, is what I'm trying to bring to the table, or we are trying to bring to the table. So, but the stories distract us. The stories we can get stuck on. The stories are just costumes. So the way that I experience all of my experiences, so there's different timelines, and being someone with the perspectives that I have, the way that I experience reality, I experience it all at once. So I experience it multidimensionally. So I have been in all the timelines. So to just single one out, it doesn't work with my mind. It doesn't translate into the 3D, because it's not like I don't just experience one trauma. Like when I do shadow work, I experience every single outcome possible. So like for a week, I am going through all the other realities, like millions of realities where they're just different in different ways, where one thing is a different way, but it's just a little bit different in this next reality, blah, 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 blah. And I'm processing through all the possibilities, so I don't get stuck on one story, but it's brutal. It's really brutal. But if you do heal with stories though, whatever story is coming up for you to heal with, like if it's a past life regression or whatever, if you heal that one life, you can that'll often trickle through the stream and heal the other ones. So it's I mean, they have their advantages. So I don't get that. Like I can still do that, and it can work, but I generally feel everything at once. So it's a little different. It's hard to articulate. Yeah, I process a lot at once. That's what I do. Yeah. Captain Moose will take care of everything. Healers generally have to heal themselves. Yeah, the hard road to heal others. Yeah, I mean, we all have to heal ourselves. We're all just permission slips for each other anyway, you know, to allow ourselves to heal, or whatever design we made for ourselves. Are you curious of your past lives, or your consciousness is... Oops, I lost it. Where'd it go? Are you curious of your past lives, or your consciousness is above the want of knowing? I still want to know. I really do. And actually they're working with me right now. There's certain things I need to know about myself right now that are important, I guess. Usually the way that I learn about myself and other experiences that I need to know about are through other people coming to me and triggering me in that way. So I'll get people from other realities that are really stuck in stories that come to me, that feel that, you know, they project a lot onto me. And so I have to heal through that process. So I learned a lot through that. I do get curious. For a period, I was really like stuck on it, because it was really like heartbreaking for me that everybody gets to like experience different aspects of their past lives and blah, 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 blah. I went through a lot of healing really fast. So my past lives, I mean, time isn't linear, so it's hard to articulate, but I jumped into quantum spaces and other realities really fast. So I went into galactic timelines really fast. So it got kind of really messy. And a lot of the types of beings that I've been aren't perceivable by most people. So they don't really translate unless I'm experiencing it through like an astral projection or a dream state, because I don't see. Remember, I'm not a seer, so I don't have even a mind's eye. So I can't remember anything. Like really, I mean, my memory is so terrible. Even in the 3D, like I forget everything, not to mention all the neurodivergent traits, you know, like ADHD type traits where I forget everything. But I am interested. So I am actually getting a reading done. I'll have a reading. I got a past life reading that should be coming up in a couple weeks that will be on TikTok, which will be kind of just fun. Somebody's service that they offer on here. Moni, I can't remember what his username is, but he does like past life readings for people on here, which is really cool. But yeah, so I've reviewed tons of past lives. I mean, I'm aware of many of my past lives, and some of them people are aware of, but we can also share past lives with other people, or we can share identity, like costumes. So we can all wear different costumes. So for example, let's just say I wore a costume of Tesla, but other people have worn that costume as well. So it's different. It's like you're playing a role. If you guys seen the movie or seen the series Loki, it's similar to that, where they're like variants. So we have different variants that play different roles. So I was Merlin, I was Tesla, I was Shakespeare, whatever. They're just costumes that I've worn, you know. It doesn't mean that I'm them or they're me. They're just aspects. So yeah, many different James Bonds. Yeah, exactly. You know, very similar. Yeah, it's not so black and white. Like when people are, it's like this is this way or what. It's so much more complicated than that, and that like we're all mixed together. We're literally all the same person, or the same being. You know, from infinite different perspectives. So, you know, but I mean, like most of my memories come from like my archetypal aspects. So like I have my actual memories that I have that I can think of are me like literally sitting in like these rooms in other dimensions for literally eternity. Like how do you process that as your memory? Eternity. Like just sitting in like a meditative state in these rooms of geometry forever. Why do I remember that? You know, and I don't remember what I ate yesterday, or like that I need to do something this after this. I need to upload the TikTok afterwards, you know, like 3D brain. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna start wrapping up here, and we're gonna do a little bit more energy. Why do we feel connected to people we know have shared past lives with? Because oftentimes we're in the same mood. We all know each other outside of this. Like all of you here, you know me. We all know each other. You know, this is a big movie. It's a big play. Like this is a big play that we're a part of. Like, and we all have different jobs. Like some of us work backstage. Some of us, you know, are working on creating the stage work. Some of us are actors in the play. You know, some of us are making costumes. Some of us are writing the play. Some of us are directing. One of my roles is to write. I can write the scripts for the movie. So I'm responsible for the scripts in some ways. So as a time lord or whatever, I can manipulate those type of things and set things up in certain ways, but I don't consciously. That's one of my higher aspects. But that's like we're all a part of this big play. It's one way to look at it. Yeah, hey Mark, we're gonna do some energy work here in a second. I would stick around. Stick around. Hey Will, what's up, brother? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do some work. We're gonna do a little bit of healing work again, some channeling. It'll be a little shorter this time, I feel like. So if you're open to receive, just have that awareness that you would like to receive for the highest good of all only. No energy will be taken, no harm will be done. No Sipro ikarnatatina puatu inkipuastuira titana tita ananata tatu itura patani nikati protgina sejaga Julianani nanuera sanayu se sarasio nonoriati asana tiertu sa zarindistista sharki stariana nistarte ina koritsasta stustanayama tustarana kista Taya wa momo moina no tayel tu istuiana urtoinar kistinis di stare tisura kukua ka lenana nina itu kuma mama wait to na mi moro to progetto me cuore manino re torna ai noi no moi mano moi romane we no volu puatu torta storia tatari markiru kartas tu taranda po artu kurna ti tarati starne mi kurtu cisheti na tarati karni mi hartu karti statucha sharhar karnistu tu hole mele leta lele mal la le mai naete tu la haretu rada yatu yaria ya lord oela
Ala mata ya toish. Tata istu el moya. Lira tartash tu. Agola te akalo kolo yakina talo ko alari. Ustu fartan karnista. Kitistona marta kitana. Hello malo yanina. Hello rata. Tartunas. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring soul fragments back for a group. Ooh-wee. Ooh, Arna. Oh. Whew, okay. Whew. Okay. Just a little bit of energy. Okay. There you go. Kua nata. Natu karni matuana. Alright, I love you. Good. Okay. Kuranata tu era pingarata yana. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Tu arki mashu tu inana tu yarakin si chatu starati pana tu kara. Well, okay, so I'm going to do my pitch before I get off to Spirit's encouraging me. So I do, if you guys are interested, I do one-on-one sessions. We can work on anything you want. I really enjoy working on healing because I get results. I like to see actual results. So if there's injuries, I know that, there's like a pain or a disease or something going on. It's a great way for me to know that things are changing and happening and working. So I like doing that, but my specialty is upgrades. So we specialize in activations and upgrades. So we help you become whoever it is that you truly are, and whatever design process you've created for yourself, we're just a part of that. So that's available. If you guys are interested in that, you can go to the link in my profile and you can send me a message. I do 60-minute sessions and 30-minute sessions, and the 60-minute ones are essentially the full upgrade, but we can do upgrades and activations in the 30-minute too. But aside from that, if you guys are interested, for a little bit longer, I'm going to be offering pre-recorded transmissions. So it's a full song, whatever song that you like, whatever song you choose. You can, I will channel to whatever intentions that you want. I'll channel towards whatever intentions you want to whatever song you choose. And that's only $22 right now, which is really cheap. They always remind me of that. And so the price is going to go up and it's going to change and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, and you can watch it over and over again and still get the effects, or it can even go deeper and deeper into the effect. So most of the time when I do the transmission, there's like a regiment for watching it. So you can watch it over and over again to go deeper and deeper into a certain intention. But it's very powerful. You get one transmission and that's it. That's all you need, instead of, you get that forever instead of, just one session. But yeah. Is there anything else? The 60-minute upgrade is $122 right now. But yeah, the all that stuff, it may change the new year, so the prices and stuff may change. But yeah, and if there's stuff that if you can't afford things, let me know. I can work with you. We'll work together. Like there's all possibilities. It's not about the money. So, but I do want to eventually transition into doing this full time, so I can help more people remember who they are. And unfortunately, the only way to really do that right now is to use money. So that's where we're at. But yeah, let me know. I have been in my feels the last week or two. Any advice? Stay in them. Feel. That's great. Feel as deeply as possible. What types of transmissions or intentions? You can set whatever intentions you want. I've had people stack tons of intentions together. I don't necessarily recommend that, because you will get what you ask for, and it's a lot. So I've had some really intense people have had some really intense experiences, but it's only going to be what your higher self has designed for you anyway. So you're not going to get what you're not ready for. It's just the way that we code it and the way that we work. We work with your higher self, so we don't decide. Your higher self decides. But you can choose what intentions you want and stuff. So play with it. I say get creative. There's you can do anything. But I'm also open to other things too. If you guys just want to chat, or you want to talk about healing work, like I'm down for like half that price, 50% off. I will talk about, we can do one-on-ones and talk about healing techniques, and I'll teach you whatever you want to know that I know. Whatever experiences, we can do one-on-ones and just go through it. So let me know. I'm just down to do this work in whatever way works for everybody else. Let me know I'm about to offer light codes, custom designed light codes. So actual artwork that has designed light codes. So I just did a promo video, and you'll see some different glyphs and stuff. Those are light codes, and I'll do custom design ones and animated ones that I'll be showing soon here too, that have different intentions. So very similar to the codes that I just talked about, that we used in our session today that you guys felt. But should I book a 30-minute first to see what you think might be best? Just shoot me a message, and we can talk about what you're really trying to get from your session, and we can go from there. Sometimes for some people, even just the pre-recorded video is perfect for them. If you're not quite ready for a full session, or you're just testing the waters, I would suggest a pre-recorded transmission, because it's not very much money, and you get a ton of value for what you're paying for. Honestly. So yeah, I would take advantage of it while we still offer it. But it will change, so it'll still be offered. It's just gonna be a little different. It'll be like, I think we'll have a second account, and we're just gonna do it through TikTok. So like you can get like how they have different length songs. We'll do it by the length of the song, and we can have the little effects if you guys want it, and it'll be just a little bit different. And we'll probably have it out so everybody can see it. If they're a part of that channel or whatever, if that's something that you want or not. But some people enjoy that, so everybody can benefit from the frequencies. But it's specifically coded for the person that ordered it and stuff. So. Just go to my profile. There's a link inside my profile, J9. Yeah, just go in there. There should be, if you click on that link, you should be sent to a website that has a message that you can send. Otherwise, you can just leave me a comment on a video if that doesn't work out for whatever reason. Or tylheals@gmail.com. You can just send me an email, all sorts of stuff. But you can go to tyel.com, ty-el.com, and you should be able to get a hold of me somehow through that. But, yeah. Well, guys, I love you so much, and I appreciate you. You spent your whole night with me, or some of you guys have spent your whole night with me. It's been your Friday night, and it's just, I'm super humbled by all of this stuff. Like, just it's a bit surreal for me, and I appreciate you so much, because this is exactly what I wish to be doing more than anything else, is helping people remember for themselves and share what I've been through, and hopefully it helps other people, because why, you know, I think that's something that we should all learn to get comfortable doing, because there's a lot of codes in the things that we've been through that can help each other. So I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. And I'm just so happy that you guys are here at this time. We're about to go through a really big show. Be prepared. This month is a really big month, energetically. And this next year, the next couple of years are going to get intense. I'm not pre-programming anything bad. It's just going to get intense. It has to. The energies need to shift, and they're about to shift. So just be aware of that. Just focus on the things that the reality that you prefer. Don't focus on the reality you don't prefer. That's my biggest suggestion. And then if you can feel your heart as deeply as possible, that's a huge boost. But I love you guys. Have an awesome night. I love you.